So next, after the support loops have been added, I will now add the smoothing. So I will just select this as an object, I'll go to smooth, and there it is. I'll press Q now. I'll leave it to divisions 1. I'll press Q, and as you can see, now you have smoothened your object. We can actually do a bit more. I'll undo so that it goes back to its original its original poly count, and then I'll just smooth it again, but this time I'll just press number 2 to increase the subdivisions, and then I can just go back to my selection tool or press Q. So now it is even smoother and it's better. So I will do another backup. So this is, let's Shift H, so that is the support loops, and then this W, shift click drag, that is going to be the one with smooth. That is smooth, or the smoothened ones. Okay, Control H, select this, file, save as. So I'll just do another backup. This is smooth or smoothen. Saving it, and then I'll go to file, save as HSM. So as you can see here, that's how you do your backups. You have your in-file backup and you have your external file backup there. So now the next thing to do is to optimize this. Optimize means we will be removing polygons that we don't need, or edges and vertices that are excess. No? So everything here should be having its function. But looking at the object, it means that the extra vertices are mainly for the curvatures. So we can remove extra edges or vertices that aren't really going to affect the curvature of the object. So for example, here, I can go to my edges here, and let's say I'll double click this portion here. So I can control backspace and remove that because it will not affect the model, but it will lessen the poly count. So I'll just do that again. So here, double click, hold shift, double click, hold shift, double click. So I will try to look at the curvature of this. So let's say if I include this there, and then also I can double click this, and this. Let's check. Is it curving? Yeah, this. So now if I press Control backspace, see, the curvature is not affected and I have lessened the polygons. So this is what you call optimization. You are optimizing your model by removing parts that does not affect or that will not deform it. So let's see this, and also this. There, Control backspace, there it is. So slowly but surely I will be removing the polygons. Oops, almost there. There. Control backspace. There it is. So here this time on these portions, then control backspace, and there it is. Okay, now I will also be performing it here. There, control backspace, got that, same here. So you are now removing edges and vertices that are just, let's say, redundant and is excessive, right, for the poly count. Control backspace. There it is. There. Okay. Control that space. And here inside, control backspace. Right, so far there, also here, here and here. There, control backspace, and then here. Oops. Control backspace. There, so it's a bit cleaner now. Right. So let's also clean portions of this stairs. So let's say I can now clean this up. Actually, control backspace, there it is, and then onto the stairs. Control backspace. Control backspace. Control backspace. Control backspace. So we're putting it here. Control backspace. Control backspace. There. Saving the work. One last. So I just repeatedly erase portions that are redundant and will not affect the modeling parts. Control backspace, saving work. Control backspace. There. Here. There. So let's say this one I can double click. This one is not that much. This one is an intersection. Control vertices R, scaling them. Oops, scaling them a bit. W. There. So far, and then this is the only one left. Sorry, yeah, control backspace. That's enough for that. So now I have this optimized polygon, so it has that colored surface effect, the rounded corners, saving work. So I will bring out the smoothen view there, and then I'll just duplicate this, shift click drag there. Then I will name this one optimize. Yes, saving the work, and then I'll just go to Control H to hide this, save work, also I'll save this file, save as, save scene as. So this is going to be optimize. And finally, file, save as. The HSM or hard surface model. So to give you an idea what optimization was or is, so Shift H. So for example, I have here both objects that are smooth, but as you can see, if I will select and let's say I'll go to Windows or display, show, I think it's here. Here in the workspace, first the poly count, display, heads up display, and let us check poly count here. So let's say you select this polygon. As you can see, this is only around 2,600 faces, but the smoothness is there, right? Now this one also, the smoothness is there, but look at the poly count. It is around 26,000. So we were able to remove 20,000 polygons, but still has that same smoothness here compared to this object. Okay. So now I'll just hide this, Control H. So that is how you optimize your model. So that's how you do your hard surface and model optimization. I'll see you in the next lesson.